One of those enemies are radicalized Islamic fundamentalist terrorists who murder innocent men, women, and children in pursuit of their Islamo-fascist agenda. I want to draw your attention to a special virtual summit taking place that's across 6 continents with thousands of people who will attend. It's called the Free Iran Global Summit, which is pushing for a free and democratic Iran, also dedicated to exposing the current regime's terrorism and its clandestine nuclear program. For more on that, we are joined tonight by Alireza Jafarzadeh. He's the Deputy Director of the U.S. Office of the National Council of Resistance of Iran, the Iranian parliament in exile. Sir, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much for being back on your show. Always a pleasure.
Sir, let's talk about tonight's summit. What's it all about?
Well, this summit, as you said, is all about the future of Iran, because the world has had enough. Both the people of Iran and the rest of the world have had enough with the terrorism, with the hostage-taking, with the development of nuclear weapons, with the missile program, and with the killings over 40 years of the rule of the Ayatollahs. The people of Iran are ready and prepared for change, as they demonstrated in their protest acts in November of just this past November, when 1,500 of them were killed when they demonstrated in over 200 cities. They came back again in January of this year, protesting again. So this really global summit, is very unique because it's unifying voices in over 100 countries, 102 countries to be exact, connecting over 30,000 locations virtually. This is perhaps the largest ever virtual conference put together. Over 1,000 senior, government officials, members of parliaments, dignitaries from various countries around the world, including many, many here in the United States, will be speaking there, because the message has to get to the people of Iran, as this event is broadcast live into the country in Iran. It's also broadcast in the whole Europe, everywhere in the United States, on social media, on Facebook, and everywhere, to show the people of Iran that the world is united behind them, to show the Iranian regime that this regime is not going to be tolerated anymore, and to show the resolve and the determination of the United States that when it comes to terrorism, they're going to be tough on this regime, and when it comes to the people of Iran, they're standing on the side of the people of Iran.
Well, Mr. Jafarzadeh, I'm glad you pointed that out, because so long as President Trump is our president, we will be tough on radicalized Islamic fundamentalist terrorists. The last regime who was in this country, the Obama administration, was soft on radicalized terrorists. And I want to ask you about that, because President Trump ordered the taking out of a terrorist, Qasem Soleimani. They called him a general, but really he was a terrorist. Not only did he kill American soldiers, has American blood on his hands, but he has lots of Iranian blood on his hands as well. The president, and he was backed by many conservatives and Republicans, a lot of independents in this country, but the Democrat Socialist Party in America condemned President Trump for taking out this bloodthirsty terrorist, the Iranian Qasem Soleimani. How was the Democrat reaction interpreted by those battling for freedom in Iran?
Well, that's a great point, Chris, because, the people of Iran know very well who their enemies are and who their allies are. Somebody like Qasem Soleimani, who is a terror master, not just killing people outside of Iran in terror operations in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, you name it, but also killing many Iranians. He was involved in the suppression of the people inside the country during the protests. Anyone who is associated with the Iranian Revolutionary Guards is not a good person, let alone a terror master like Qasem Soleimani. That's why when Qasem Soleimani was taken out by the United States, it was a welcome effort on the part of the Iranian people. They were so happy. They got a lot of hope. They realized that, this is a different world now, that their ruthless rulers are not going to be appeased by this or that country, that they're not going to be rewarded, their killers are not going to be rewarded by lifting sanctions or giving them cash or anything like that. Rather, the killers of the people of Iran, as well as the terror masterminds, are going to be dealt with decisiveness and firmness. And that's why it's so important to understand that the people of Iran are ready, are united. This conference is going to be held tomorrow, is also delivering this message. There is an organized opposition to the Iranian regime. It's not that the regime is only bad or discounted. There is organized opposition headed by a woman who wants a free Iran, who is full of hope and compassion, full of dedication, has sacrificed so much. And I think I invite everyone to really join and get on our social media tools.
Yes, Mr. Jafarzadeh, I hate to cut you, give you short shrift here, but we're up against the clock. I really appreciate the time. And again, this comes up tomorrow. Give us very quickly the web address if you have it off the top of your head.
Sure. You can get on our Twitter account. It's very simple, at NCRIUS. Also on Facebook, it's Iran NCR. Also on our website, ncrius.org.
All right, Mr. Jafarzadeh, I really appreciate the time. Thank you for being here on the Chris Salcedo Show. It was great to see you again.